what would you like to be coached on today?
Yes. So I'm getting a little bit clear on like I'm a new coach, and I'm gonna stop saying that I'm a new coach next year because I feel like I just keep saying it, but it's not necessarily helping me. But I just started coaching within the last, let's say, year and a few months, including my training. And I'm really getting clear on, again, this topic of niche keeps coming up back and forth. And thank you for sending me the niche challenge because that really helped me. Um, so I got a little bit clearer and I'm focused on two different areas. And I want to get really clear because I'm working on my coach business plan for next year and I want to complete it before the end of this year. So I'm looking at two different niches and what's interesting is my niche is also kind of like my coaching style. So one, I'm looking to coach. Actually, I need help between language. So one area of niche, it's all creatives, but I'm trying to decide between creator, artist, and creative. So I'm a coach for creators, artists, or creatives. And I can't decide which word I want to go for.
That's interesting. Very, very precise.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little bit of background. When I say artists, I mean I really am inspired by artists. I am inspired by painters, singers, actors, videographers, editors. I consider like all of those people artists. And then creatives, I also consider those same people. And then also there are creatives that maybe are in jobs where they don't create in their, daytime, but they create on the weekends. So maybe they won't categorize themselves as a singer or a painter, but they do it as a hobby. So that's what I call creatives. And then creators, for me, it holds a little bit more weight, the creator, because I think about from a spiritual aspect, being, all of us of the ultimate creator, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. And we are as individuals, each able to create. So every person on this planet is a creator. And so, yes. So that's kind of, I'm, I think it's powerful to inspire people or to coach people and let them know, hey, you're pretty powerful because you're a creator here and you can have your vessel, your body, your mind, your spirit manifest whatever you want in life. And I like to say, this is one of my favorite phrases is everything is made up. Because I really
Wow,
believe that. Yeah.
that
We like
was
to say more people are comfortable with the word invented, but really everything is made up. The language that we're talking, Zoom, laptops, like
it sounds like you did a lot of research on your client avatar.
some research. I'm doing that now as a part of my planning.
Those three different words and definitions you describe, it's like a very deep understanding who they are and what they are doing. I'm wondering, once you pick that particular word, what would it mean for you?
Yeah. So for me, it would mean that I have a certain amount of clarity. Um, and it would help me talk about what I do in a way that is very specific and targeted. Because as you know, the niche is like should directly communicate to that group. It'll help me get really clear on what I do and who I do it for.
And once you get that, what difference it's going to make for you?
Yeah. So for me, I think it'll give me confidence. It will also inspire me to move forward because I feel like I've been in this planning phase for a while. Like you gave me the niche thing a few weeks ago, and I'm still kind of back and forth, back and forth. So I think it'll just give me like a push where I can just move forward, start talking to my people, and I'll feel just clear.
How would that moving forward look to you?
Yeah, so ideally, one of the big things is starting to get clients. So that's one of the key pieces for me moving forward is I know I'm moving forward when I'm getting clients in. That's the most simple. But there are other areas of me moving forward, when I get this niche thing right, all of my email things can start going because I know my person that I'm talking to. My social media can start flowing. Um, Speaking events, like I know where I can show up because I know where my people are. But at the most basic, the simple is like I know I'm moving forward when I have clients coming in because my goal is to coach.
It feels like that clarity around a particular word defining your niche is like a gatekeeper. Once it's defined, everything is going to start flowing, moving on, getting clients, emails, and everything else. And somehow it feels to me that there is an idea that it's possible to define that once and for all. And then everything will go beautifully and perfectly smooth.
Yeah.
What if, for a second, you allow yourself to believe that you're okay trying different areas until you know exactly which one resonates with you the best? How would that look like?
I've heard this before because I've gotten coaching around this multiple times. And some of the options that have come up before is just try it, just try things, eventually you'll figure it out. And I don't know why it's not that easy for me just to try something. Maybe it's the fear that I might not succeed if I don't have a plan. And that's kind of how I have been with my professional career is I like to have a plan and things planned out. So maybe it's a fear of like if I don't have this planned niche and I'm just testing things, then what if I fail? But also, if I'm not doing anything at all, there's no action. So, but you make a good point. I know realistically, like once I just have this word, everything is not necessarily going to unlock and flow. It's still going to be effort. So I think I would like to test because the words that I'm choosing, realistically, there's not a big difference between them. There's subtle differences. Um, and I'm most interested in the word creator, which I want to ask you about maybe because you're a creator on YouTube but I don't want people to specifically think I'm talking about online creators because most people think when you say, at least my perception is the word creator right now, a lot of people associate it with digital creator. And digital creators are one type of clients that I would like to coach, but not the only client. So it's digital creator, like, do you hear the same thing for digital creator? Does it make you think of like digital creator?
What
Because
I'm
that's more
what
hesitations with that word.
what I'm hearing is making conclusion based on your own opinion. When I'm hearing creator, I see a million different things, and digital comes last to my mind at all. So what if, again, just theoretically, what if you allow yourself to believe that it's not necessarily what you think, maybe a million different things about that particular word.
I love that. And I like, and I want to also step to exactly what you said. Like, it's not necessarily what I think. I have an idea, but what it's about is it's about the client. It's about the creator, the creators that I'll work with. Because I have a thinking around like, oh, this could come to life this way and it could look like this. But I think probably I'm getting clear around, I think I just need to try it to hear what my clients are saying, because it's about what they think. And maybe I'm just, when I try it, I'll start to see the patterns in between. I've already started to see it's odd, but also like sometimes it happens, when I believe like you get different signs in different directions. And even talking to you, because I kept going back and forth and I'm like, well, people think I'm just a digital creator, just for digital creators. And you're like, no, that's not the case. Anyway, I've started getting signs and like different patterns of talking to people, telling me what they need from creative people who define themselves as creators also. So I think I'm getting clear on just trying this word creator. And then also I'm getting clear on not overthinking it, because it's not really what I think. And I have a pattern of overthinking in my life anyway. I was just working out this morning, and the coach said, don't overthink it. And I was like, this is what I do in my whole life. So it's funny that you say it's not about what I think.
What you just said about this is what I do all my life made me thinking, can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
You mentioned your previous career when you always preferred to have a plan and go with that plan. And then as an opposite of that was a complete chaos, spontaneous actions. But if you look at that, it's never just black or white. Neither strict plan, neither complete chaos. There are a million shades in that scale.
Yes.
What would be the most comfortable way for you to move forward? So you know that you're making changes, but not dramatically. So it's okay for you to do it in a different way.
Yeah. So for me, that's exactly why I'm working on this little PowerPoint. It's just, I'm dumping my ideas in. I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm writing, different things that I'm finding online, different questions that are helpful, questions from the niche challenge. I'm just putting in there and typing sentences. So that in between place for me is this plan that I'm working on before the end of the year. Or I'm going to give myself grace by the first week of next year. It's very doable. I'm not making it perfect. I'm not even designing it. I need to visualize, and I'm just putting everything on paper. So that is a middle ground for me. Like sometimes I would try to get it designed and like nice and pretty. That would be like me moving to perfection and not to action. I just want to get my ideas on paper. That way I can maybe stop thinking because it's just there. And then from there, I can just start deciding, okay, I just thought of this myself. when I have everything on this paper, I can stop thinking and I can start deciding. And there's a difference for me. Deciding for me is related to action. I'm gonna write that down. Thinking versus deciding. Yes, so that's the middle ground for me.
It sounds like you're giving yourself a lot of grace and being in tune with what you actually want versus how it was supposed to be before.
Yes.
So, what's the difference between thinking and deciding?
Yeah, so for thinking, sometimes I'm like still researching, getting some ideas, just like sometimes it's like a tornado swirl around versus deciding. I feel like I'm running and I have like, okay, 1 mile, 2 miles, like I'm making progress. I'm not just going around in a circle. And deciding has some elimination for me related to it. Like it gets me to a more clear picture when I decide versus just thinking.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sounds actions. Actions. I hear a lot of action words.
Yes. Action. Because I'm at the point, it's good that I have one other client, which is through my communications consulting. I don't want to keep relying on that because it's month to month. I don't know if I'll still have that client. So I'm always about like having my plans ready. So I have to start making money with coaching. I can't just continue to rely on my consulting work because it's not necessarily always going to be there.
Mm. So let me check in with you. We started with an idea to choose between those three different definitions of your niches. At this point, where are you at?
Yes. So I'm going to move forward with creator. I have the most energy for that word. I think it's so powerful. Like I described, um, yeah, thank you. Got me clear. And then also, I'm going to move forward with it, but also like, for me, it's not, like you said, not what I think. And I've been thinking that, not what I think. So testing out this with different people and getting, seeing the patterns will help me be able to better coach people because I'll understand what they need.
It sounds like exploring what the fish like versus what you like when you go fishing.
Exactly, exactly. And what you said, between the perfection versus just kind of the action, it's also reminding me of being creative. Like if I'm going to serve creative people, it's never black and white. Like creativity and creating is usually gray. So I think for me, I need to get comfortable with that, or I want to get comfortable with that, because that's where my clients are. They're always in that in between phase as creators. So I have kind of the analytic brain and like the creative brain, but sometimes I go more towards the analytic, but I can do both.
That sounds like accepting yourself in any variation you are, whatever percentage this brain or that brain is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So moving forward, what would be helpful for you to discuss in next 10 minutes we have left?
Yeah. So now that I have the word of creator, what do I need to do? Like I'll put it in my PowerPoint slide. Actually, I know what I need to do. I have this book about how to define what my ideal client needs and who they are. So Yes, I have the book. And then also what I'm going to do is, like I've been saying, I want to talk to different people to get their ideas. So I think I have what I need. Yeah.
What kind of support you may need doing that?
So actually, it's funny that you ask because you are a creator. So I think, when I do have this kind of, I'm developing the story of who this person could be. I would love to share it with you if you're interested in reading it. I'll probably have it like beginning of next year. No, I will have it beginning of next year with the plan. So if you want to take a look at my story that I developed, that would be helpful.
Oh, I'd be honored to. Thank you.
Okay. I'm definitely going to send it to you. Because it's all around, it's this book actually. I'll send you the title of it. It's called Story Brand. So it's
Mhm.
about, the hero goes on a journey, the hero goes on a journey and they're confronted with a problem. And if they don't fix the problem, X, Y, and Z will happen. But if they fix their problem, then they'll get this success. So I'm kind of developing what that story for a creator looks like. Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I was just wondering, that things they taught us in my coaching school, they showed us the evolution of you as a coach and at the same time evolution of your clients.
Yeah.
Why I'm bringing this up now? Because I was thinking, since where you are at in your journey, it's someone else's point where they would like to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, what if, as an experiment, you try to remember yourself where your clients are right now and
Mm-hmm.
just try to see what would resonate with you the most? So, you would say, this person is speaking my language. He knows exactly my problems, and he is telling me exactly what I would like to hear as a solution to those problems.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. That's exactly what I've been thinking of doing and I want to do. And I think I tried this a little bit, just recording myself has been helpful when I redid my website. So I think I'm going to keep doing that um, with the vision of me talking to myself when I'm like, okay, I needed to know all of this, just recording myself and seeing what comes out is a way that helps me kind of do that without editing myself.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of self-reflection and self-study first, and then reflection and study on your client avatar.
Yeah. Yeah. I really want to, do this. I have a lot of energy around it and it feels right. I've been thinking about this word creator for like 6 months. So, and I've been talking to people about creator in different ways. I've been talking to different women who are either mothers or want to be mothers about their ability to bring life onto earth and be creators, talking to artists about their ability to manifest and create. Um, so this idea of being a part of something bigger is what I think is really the key about creators.
I I keep telling you that, but it sounds like a lot of thinking and exploring and researching around who they are, what they need.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the other things is I realize, because, a lot of us have heard the story of the starving artist, but I
Mhm.
don't think that has to be true. Like, there's a way to create and have your creations be profitable and also sustainable. So, a lot of times, creators can create, you know, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., and then they can't create anymore the rest of the day, or so they tell themselves. But I really believe that there's a way to be coached around sustainable creation when we're really in tune with who we are, your creativity can flow like a water faucet because you're anchored in who you are. And then also, I really believe that when self-worth as an artist or a creator is high, then profitability, getting money from your art, can also be high. But a lot of artists deal with, am I worth it? From an insight point, and externally that shows up as like, I'm not getting paid. So I'm really like wanting to help people around that.
You just nailed it sounds like you just nailed that pain point.
I need the recording. See, that's what I say I can never come up with this, but I need to talk. So then I'll have to watch it again because I don't know what I said. Because it just comes out. And that's when I know it's natural because it's just something that it just comes out. So
Yeah, and there wasn't any hesitation, any it just flew right like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of when
from
I
that
know like it's
from
it.
that experience, would you just created a new statement or new message, just impromptu on a go? From that experience, how are you going to apply that
Yes.
working on your niche, on your business?
So how I'm going to apply it is I'm putting it in the plan. And then also I'm going to just test this out. So I tested it with you and you're like, huh, that's interesting. Like I get it. You said it flowed. I understand what the pain point is. So I'm just going to start talking to people and trying this out as a way to test it. So those are the two big actions for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are getting close to the end today. What is your most significant takeaway from our time together?
I have two. First is it's not what I think. So that's a big one. And I think that's kind of related to my whole life. And then second is just test things out. Like it doesn't have to be a perfect plan. And also that's kind of thinking, as I think about me being in my client's shoes, a lot of creators are constantly testing. So I want to become comfortable with testing. That way I can relate even closer with my clients. It's important that I become really comfortable with just testing things.
Thank you so much for letting me be your thinking partner today. I'm very honored just seeing you creating all of that as you go. It was a real pleasure for me. And one thing I would like to acknowledge and stop and celebrate how clear and honest to yourself you are, understanding that it was your way to live before, having a plan and everything, and willingly going to a different way to live. Acknowledging that it's not always to be a strong, strict plan, and it's okay too. And there was another moment when you said, I know I can be too analytical, but I accept that too. I just want to acknowledge you that it's a very big deal and you're doing that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for, bringing the awareness forward to me. And I appreciate the session. It's been super helpful just to talk with you and get the coaching also. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Is it a good place to stop today?
Yes.